It is Sunday, April 26th, and the NFL draft is officially closed. The draft was full of highs and lows for many fans. Pittsburgh and NFL fans across the USA rallied around this three-day event with over 300,000 in attendance. Looking back, there was one pick on day one of the draft that confused many fans, especially the LA Ram fans. For many in LA, the emotions went from ecstasy to confusion. I can guarantee you a huge portion of the fan base was not expecting the name Ty Simpson to be called at number 13. From my own perspective as a New York Jet fan, my thoughts were that this guy might be picked by the Jets in the second round at number 33. Yeah, the fact that he got picked so early was pretty much a shocker. The question is, why did they pick this guy? The LA Rams were on the clock, and with their brain trust, many fans would have been thrilled to have picked Makai Lemon, the wide receiver out of USC. Instead, they chose Simpson. Why? I mean, I'm sure they could have traded back and still got this guy in the first round. Drafting him at number 13 seemed like quite the stretch. If you look back at the draft, only Mendoza to the Raiders at number 1 and Simpson at number 13 were picked as quarterbacks in round 1. Not a single quarterback was picked in round 2. Was there really any team that was ready to jump up and select this guy in round 1? Maybe the Jets could have jumped up at the end of round 1, but there did not seem, much urgency based on the fact that not a single quarterback was drafted in round 2. Yeah, I understand there were slim pickings for any real good quarterback prospects in this draft. Let's take a deeper look at the Simpson pick for the Rams. If you look at Simpson's stats in 2025, they were really good, but they tailed off after that massive hit by Dylan Stewart of the South Carolina Gamecocks. This guy knocked Simpson into next week, and it resulted in a bulging disc injury. This was the beginning of his physical decline for the rest of the college football season. He ended up taking medication for his injury, but that resulted in gastritis and his weight dropping from 215 pounds to a measly 190 pounds. That's some serious weight loss. Along with that, he also suffered right elbow bursitis, or whatever you call it, in the SEC game versus Georgia on December 6, 2025. The final icing on the cake was when he injured his ribs, a fractured rib injury that occurred on January 1st, 2026 at the Rose Bowl. With all these injuries, it's totally understandable why his production seemed to drop off. So if we look back at his work as a quarterback in 2025, it was a pattern of great play followed by not so great play post-injury during the South Carolina game. Was it really a good idea to pick an unproven quarterback when you have a proven veteran putting up massive numbers in Stafford? Why pick a raw quarterback like Simpson when you have a quarterback in Stafford who was NFL MVP in 25 with over 4,700 yards passing and 46 touchdowns? A point of comparison would be New York Jets quarterback Justin Fields, who had 1,259 yards passing and 7 touchdowns. I would gladly sign up for Stafford's numbers when you compare them to a guy who ended up being benched in Week 7 and finally demoted in Week 12 in Fields. Yes, Stafford is old for a quarterback, but at 37 years of age, he clearly has not lost his arm. As long as the offensive line holds up, there's no reason to think he can't play a few more years. Also, Paku Nacua is Hall of Fame material. Lining up across from Puka was Devante Adams. Yeah, he was a major threat, scoring 14 touchdowns in 2025, along with chewing up over 780 yards of grass. Having Stafford definitely helped Devante's become more important to his team versus his time with the New York Jets when they had a guy by the name of Rodgers. But let's take a look at the missed opportunity here. Makai Lemon. This guy was a total star at USC. We're talking about Biletnikoff Award winner who just put up nearly 1,200 yards and 11 touchdowns for the Trojans. He is the modern NFL receiver archetype, someone who can slide into the slot and just feast on zone coverage. If you watch him against Iowa in the pouring rain, you saw a guy with elite hands and a 2.8% career drop rate. He's the kind of player who makes quarterbacks' life easy. He knows exactly how to sit in those soft spots on defense. Think about what McVay could have done with that. You already have Paku Nacua, who's basically a human wrecking ball. Then you have Devante Adams lining up on the outside as well. But then you add Makai Lemon to the mix. You're talking about a triple threat. that would have been great. I mean, potential to hit 1,000 yards in the same season. You know, I'm sure McVay loves these versatile, receivers that can block and play multiple positions. That is Lemon's, that's what Lemon is about. He's a polished NFL-ready target who can help Stafford, chase another MVP. Instead, the Rams took a guy who won't even see the field next year. While Adams is a great Robin to Batman, he is already 33 years old and will be 34 by December of 2026. Do you know what that means? He'll be in the 2% category of wide receivers who are 33 or older. His production might decline in 2026. So the Rams wide receiver core will consist of Puka, an older Devante, and those other guys not named Lemon. That is why this was a confusing pick. They could have grabbed Makai Lemon. He would have paid immediate dividends to the Rams receiving core. For Rams fans, are you disappointed in this pick? With a super veteran quarterback like Stafford, having a triple threat wide receiver core would have punched your ticket to the Super Bowl. Anyway, by picking Simpson, the Rams took a big gamble. Realizing that Stafford is old for an NFL quarterback, they needed someone who could be sculpted into a successor. But is Simpson really that good? Clearly, Simpson has no value to this team in 2026, as he will be learning under Stafford. As long as Stafford is playing at such a high level, there's no way Simpson gets into a game unless the score is out of reach. Along with many Rams fans, Coach McVay didn't exactly seem enthusiastic about the pick, but it was later clarified that he was just being grumpy about other things. Maybe he didn't get the pizza he wanted from his favorite spot. It remains to be seen if Simpson is the future of the Rams organization. He was only a one-year starter for Alabama, and his 6'1" frame could be a liability when trying to see over the offensive line. Also, could his injuries as a starter for Alabama be an early forecast of his future durability as an NFL quarterback? At this point, Simpson is just a rookie backup to Stafford, and no one knows what the future looks like for the new LA Ram quarterback. I wish the guy the best, but it looks like he'll be a bench warmer for at least 1 year, a year when the LA Rams could have had Makai Lemon and a devastatingly good triple threat wide receiver core behind old man Stafford. This is the great thing about the NFL draft. You never know what your team is really going to do.